Hello Gemini, Gemini Rising, and of course all of you Gemini Moon people out there. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting February the 10th, 2020. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, should you ever wish to get a session with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website, it's integrativemysticism.com, or of course you may also just simply follow the links below. So what's going on when it comes to your astrology over the course of this coming week? Well, it's all about Venus, the planet of love, affection, harmony, favor, and popularity, currently residing in your 11th house of friendships and social networking. And on Monday, we have a gorgeous aspect. We've got Venus conjunct Chiron, also in that 11th house of friendships and social networking. And there is a profound healing going on, an opportunity for Monday, even overnight to Tuesday, for a friendship that still holds a great deal of meaning to you, to be mended. With Venus conjunct Chiron, there could be maybe a situation going on with a friendship that's not as close as it could be, possibly one that goes back years. With Chiron in the 11th house, it could be a friendship that is still technically there, but has always had a bit of a cloud hanging over it ever since what have you. And with Venus involved, we have a chance to really erase the scar and dissipate the clouds, because this could actually be a chance to really reconnect, really actually get a friendship back on the track it should be on, because Venus in your 11th house is all about not only attracting new friends in, but bringing more love, affection, and demonstrations of loyalty and kindness to existing friendships. Now, Chiron itself, as we've said before, is sort of our baggage, right? It's the wounded healer. It's overarching issues, scars, old narratives that sometimes we struggle to heal. Sometimes we let it relive itself in painful cycles. Sometimes it is just a dark cloud hanging over connections and opportunities that make us feel uncomfortable to even be around them, or just make it feel like there's a bit of a schism that doesn't need to be there. But one of those situations has a chance to be mended, and we begin the healing process with somebody who definitely is still somebody very important to you as it relates to a friend or even an old friend, even though that schism or that cloud has been hanging overhead. With Venus conjunct Chiron, this can be a chance to not only clear the air, but also get back on a much more loyal and demonstratively affectionate page with somebody who should stay very close. On Thursday, we've got Venus still in that 11th house of friendships and social networking, creating a T-square in your chart between the North Node in Cancer, your second house of earned income and employment and your values and valuables, and the South Node in in Capricorn, your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as intimacy. Now, Venus is activating an opportunity to really make some headway when it comes to our biggest challenges and our biggest rewards, the North Node. However, there can be a temptation to also apply it to our crutch, the South Node. Remember, the South Node, which is, again, in that 8th house, the South Node is what we do to cut corners. It's the thing we're really good at. It's our go-to. It's our crutch, essentially, what we do to maybe escape or not participate in our lessons and in our life. And the North Node is all about breaking new ground. It's about evolution. It's about soul's progress. And with Venus involved, it looks like a token of affection or assistance from a friend we could actually use for either end. Of course, we want to lean in the direction of the North Node, even though it might be challenging. You guys know me, I don't really offer these readings as a healing experience, rather an informative experience. And with the North Node, it is always in the best interest of all concerned, even though it might be challenging to do so. This could actually provide some serious breakthroughs when it comes to maybe a matter of great importance relating to your value system, or maybe your valuables, or a way to maybe even secure your material wealth. But we want to go in that direction, as opposed to the South Node in the 8th house, which can sometimes make us more preoccupied with what other people are doing with their resources, how we can get involved in other people's stories, how we can sort of hitch a ride on other people's journeys. Everyone has the South Node go through their 8th house at some point in time, so no, I'm not just calling you out to call you out. But that's the journey, that's the test that's going up this week for you. So make some smart decisions, focus on what we can do to apply to our own narrative. A friend is offering you something that you can do to take control of your own life, not worry about handling other people's. Now, before we go on to the cards, I want to remind you that, yes, there is a Mercury retrograde that starts up this week, but we did cover that in the monthly astrology horoscopes on Patreon. And if you're interested in signing up for that, you can follow the links below. My Patreon page is basically where I have not only monthly astrology horoscopes, but I also do live chats, lectures, and classes and discussions, as well as I have a library of astrology classroom episodes people have access to as well. So if you're interested in that, it's only $1 minimum to at least have access to the video content. You might want to check it out. So what is going on when it comes to your cards? Well, with the spiritual themes of this week, we are talking about the Ace of Wands in reverse. And so we are going to be doing something about burnout. Now, that's important to understand. With the Ace of Wands reversed, it's all about reigniting the flame, not just affirming that burnout exists, right? We're not here to just vent and process. We're here to work. And with the Ace of Wands in reverse, your spiritual themes, you're going to be paying attention to where certain things are just not holding up for you the way they, maybe did in the past. And that's sort of an interesting lesson, because sometimes, as fallible humans, we try to recreate something. Well, it did it for me before, maybe it'll do it for me again. No, not so much. The Ace of Wands reversed, I'm also seeing as you needing to acknowledge where certain choices, certain commitments that you have, or maybe even certain connections that you have, are not doing it for you anymore. They're not actually serving in the highest interest of all concerned. We have to actually acknowledge that and let that be known. The biggest challenge is, though, is that sometimes we might want people to just read between the lines or read our minds and see that we are not happy or not content with the way things are going. Please don't do that. In fact, with the Ace of Wands reversed, a lot of the times we have to pay attention to where inspiration or maybe a reignition of that flame, that passion and that motivation will only come if we decide to stop trying to light the same charred piece of coal that has done its job and move on to something else. In fact, with the influx of the Fool card upright, a lot of you Gemini people are starting a new life chapter this week, a new journey this week. In a lot of cases, this might involve maybe spending time with people we don't normally spend a lot of time with. Some of you may be even contemplating bigger shifts. A Fool card upright can indicate a new chapter, maybe where we are taking on a new kind of craft, or maybe deciding to step into a new role, maybe even new jobs, new adventures, big moves. But this is also a really good way for you to shift your personal expression, a new way for you to actually present yourself in the world as a community. In fact, for a lot of you Gemini people, it's time to actually stop trying to make an old thing work that just won't work anymore. It'd be like if I tried to run my editing program on Windows 95. It's not going to happen. And it's important to understand that there are always needs for updates, upgrades, and evolutions. Of course, it doesn't always have to be technological. I'm speaking clearly in metaphors here. But with the Fool card upright, you have a chance for a fresh start or turning a page in all areas of your life. The influx card affects everything. And where do those new starts need to actually happen? Where has maybe something exhausted its relevance or its fulfillment in your life? Is it a type of friendship? Is it a location that you're in? Is it a job that you have? Maybe it's an approach that we take to our spiritual practice. The Outflux card is all about what is going away, and the Hangman reversed is what is going away. So the release of resistance. In a lot of cases, the Hangman reverse can sometimes show up where there is a refusal to change, a refusal to compromise, or a refusal to take a step in the direction of transition. Now, this could absolutely be happening for you personally, but the good news is that this is also happening with people who are maybe also afraid to deviate from their personal script. Maybe people who are working so hard on trying to maintain a status quo that they don't necessarily do what they need to do, or maybe with the Hangman reverse, they're afraid of transition, they're afraid of change themselves, they're averse to whatever it would take. With the Hangman reverse going away, everyone is feeling the same energy. it can't go on like this forever. We do need to start actually transitioning. We have to stop going in these bloody circles. Moving down to the bottom here, we have, for your mundane concerns, starting with the material, we have the Ten of Wands upright. And the Ten of Wands upright is all about, yes, moving in the direction of a huge transition, however high maintenance it might be. In a lot of cases, this can indicate a drastic influx of opportunities that are a bit more labor-intensive than we initially thought, but they will pull off a major feat when it comes to a professional or financial aspiration that you have. With the Ten of Wands, this could, of course, be a very, very busy week. Some of you may be finding that burning the midnight oil is almost required or essential for progress to happen here. But when it comes to a financial or professional matter, we do still see a slow but sturdy victory coming our way. Speaking of victories, here comes Persephone. The other thing about the Ten of Wands that you have to pay attention to is that this is ultimately a sign that we are taking on a lot to achieve a lot all at once. And we don't necessarily have to do it that way. It doesn't have to be a feast or famine type of week. But it does look like a lot of you Gemini people are going to be offered a high-maintenance feast. Should you take it on, good for you, but don't be afraid to take some space and some time for yourself. This is a week that could promise immense profits as well as immense upward mobility, but you want to make sure that you are not overburdening yourself or making a lot of promises that are going to be too hard to keep. On the external, when it comes to friends, when it comes to maybe your relatives, the other people in your life, we've got the Death card in reverse. And in spite of the fact that we have this Hangman reversed going away, it does look like there's something happening where a friend or maybe a relative is not necessarily sure what to do about a transition that they really should make in the highest interest of all concerned, but they're either unwilling or able to go through with it this week as it relates to you. And you may have to be the one to pull the plug. You may be the one who has to actually say, look, this is what needs to happen. I know you're afraid to go there. I know you're afraid to say this. I know you're afraid to make that call because you might be afraid of uncertainty. Some people are stuck at a place in their growth where they need everything to be black and white, super simple, easy peasy, simple arithmetic, and that there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, it's not a place to stay forever. And with the Death card reversed, we have somebody who is afraid to take a plunge. Now, this could be something that you are tied in with, something that you have a joint interest with, or quite possibly, this friend or this family member, by virtue of them keeping this as it is slowing you down. Somebody has to hit the eject button here, and I think it's going to have to be you. For your relationships, when it comes to love and romance, we have the Ten of Cups upright. Beautiful card. A lot of you Gemini people are going to actually see some kind of major dream or maybe a major goal when it comes to how you want to have your love life or your family life play out, start to substantiate. The Ten of Cups, for those of you who are curious, is all about seeing something that we have put, in our intention into, sort of put pen to paper with, coming out exactly as we planned it. Now, this could be a major turn of events when it comes to maybe a dating scenario. Maybe you find out that, yes, so-and-so that you like is on the same page with you. We are exactly on the same page in the same timeline, which is gorgeous. Or for those of you in existing relationships, it could be a breakthrough of your partners turns into a breakthrough for the entire couple, ready to turn the page onto a new chapter for this relationship for a place of greater fulfillment and further establishing our commitment. The good news about the Ten of Cups is that it is a near permanent change, a no going back moment, going up. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And if you ever wish to get a session, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.